All right, the Scarlet and Gray game is in the books, a 37-14 final. I'm sure that will be etched in the memories of Ohio State fans nationwide for years to come. Of course, the spring game means nothing except to evaluate talent. We got Steve Hellwagen on the line from 247 Sports, Bucknuts, and also senior Big Ten writer for 247. Steve, how you doing today?
Doing great, Mark. What's going on?
Well, trying to wrap up as much spring football for me as well as you, looking around the country. And of course, this quarterback situation we'll get to in a second. But maybe the highlight, I'll throw away the maybe comment. The highlight of the afternoon was Ryan Shazier being welcomed by the crowd, regardless of what colors you wear, who you root for. We all have to be rooting for Ryan Shazier. So that was nice to see.
Yeah, he obviously suffered a career and really a life-threatening injury back in December playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Cincinnati Bengals. And as a lot of people know, he was in the hospital for many weeks trying to regain regain use of his legs, and through a lot of therapy and great care by his doctors there in Pittsburgh, he was able to finally make that recovery. And I don't know if we're ever going to see him on a football field again, but I know it was a great sign for the fans at Ohio State. And Urban Meyer mentioned that Shazier is one of his favorite players. He played for the Buckeyes for 2 seasons under Meyer, and really kind of helped set the tone, I guess, for the kind of program that Coach Meyer was looking to build at Ohio State. So he's one of his, as he says, he's got a lot of favorites, but he's on that very short list of his. It's funny how the All-American guys kind of always creep to the top of said lists, but at any rate, really a great sign for he and Malcolm Jenkins coming off the Super Bowl victory with the Philadelphia Eagles. He was such an integral part of that. And it's fun to see an Ohio State guy, I think, for the fans here, who has excelled at such a high level in the National Football League. There have not been, a lot of Super Bowl champions that have come through. You're talking about Santonio Holmes. Obviously was one of them, Orlando Pace. So there have been a few, but for a guy to be that involved in winning the Super Bowl, Malcolm Jenkins is somewhat of a rarity.
Yes, Antonio Holmes would be the one guy that comes to mind that actually won a Super Bowl MVP as an Ohio State.
Definitely.
And I believe that he would be the only one to date. But Ryan Shazier, what comes to mind is so many things, because he was such an explosive player and just known for just being an impact player, both in terms of his impact on the field, but also an impact every time he met a ball carrier, that it was just a collision, a guy that just brought a ton of wood every time on the field for Ohio State. Remember the play against Wisconsin, Monte Ball at the goal line, trying to protect that undefeated season in 2012, when he just Monte Ball was going for the all-time rushing touchdown record in college football, and Ryan Shazier stood him up and forced the ball loose, and that game went to overtime, and Ohio State eventually won to preserve the undefeated season at that point. Malcolm Jenkins, of course, what a great player he's been on both levels for the Buckeyes, and now the Saints, now the Eagles.